I'm Gina Margaret O'Brien. When I play golf at Campus School, I'm known as Gina O'Brien.
And everybody now calls you Gina.
Yeah. I was born in Ringwood in Hampshire, and I had a wonderful childhood. I know I had 2 wars, or was it 3 wars, but I had a very happy childhood. My mother had another child, Winifred, she was called, after me, and I had an elder sister by the name of Joan Edith. We were a very poor family, but I did have an uncle who my father worked for. He drove the big van when he came back from the First War. So he was able to drive a car, and he was quite young when he did drive. I lived at One Riverside, the Bickerley, as I said, in Ringwood. Some things you can take out of this. And I went to the local school, Ringwood Council School.
So you're very much a local girl.
Yeah, oh yes, you were very local. So is Michelle. Well, she went to Africa, and she was in the circus, the big circus in, I think she went to Mexico, was it? Mexico, in a big circus, to get her equity card, and she had a lovely time there. So I'll go back to Ringwood.
Yeah, so you were brought up in Ringwood in the 1930s then?
Yes. And I remember it very, very well. We lived at the Bickerley, and just near us was the old mill guest house, which had many famous stars who used to come there during the war years.
So let's move on to the war years.
Yeah.
And you got a job working for the Americans.
Yes.
So
I didn't work with them first of all. I got married when I was 17, just coming up to 18.
What year was that, Gina? Do you remember?
What year? 18. I was 17. I was born in 1925. So how old was I?
You were born in 1925?
Yeah.
So in 1935 you were 10. 1942 you were 17.
Yeah.
You married in 1994, so you married right in the middle of the war.
Yes, I did. And I'd met this chap, the very first time I'd met him. He was a Welshman, and he lived in Aberfan, where they had the dreadful tragedy. And he walked me home, didn't kiss me goodnight, but I liked the look of him. I'll show you a photo.
He didn't kiss you goodnight?
No, I'll show you a photograph of him.
Would that have been a bit forward if he had?
Yes, yeah. To me it was. And I did say to him, oh no, he mentioned that he had a birthday the following week. He was about 5 years older than me. And I said, oh, and he'd never received poor Welsh family, but he had gone to secondary school in Aberfan in Wales. And he mentioned he'd never had a birthday card. So I said, oh, that's no trouble. I'll send you one if you give me your address. So he gave me his address, and I sent him this birthday card. And then I had a letter from him, and he said he'd like to see me again, and so we met up. He used to cycle into One Riverside, the Bickerley. That was where I lived.
So he caught your eye a bit?
Yes. He was very well. I've got a photograph of him. Very good looking.
And you'd obviously also caught his eye.
Yes. Well, I love dancing, and I used to go to the Crown Hotel in Ringwood. I think it was always on a Wednesday night. I wanted to be a singer with the band. I would have liked to have been.
Move this round
But,
a little bit. Just move that round a little bit. That's better.
Because I loved music, and I used to get all the latest tunes from the radio to sing a song, I hoped. And then he had an audition one night at the Crown Hotel.
Let's just stop for a second, because you're racing on a bit, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
At some point, a couple of years before you were married, when you were 15 or 16, I suppose, you got a job at the hospital.
No, later. No, because the First World War had started, hadn't it? And my dad had to go there. I wasn't born then.
When did you work in Westmoors?
At the second.
Yeah.
But
before you were married?
Before. No, I was married.
You were already
married then.
Right.
So then I had to do a job of work, because I was married. A married person had to go and work either in the Land Army or somewhere like that. And but I went as a cleaner to do the nurses' huts that they were in. I had to tidy them and just sweep them out. And they were very kind to us, the Americans.
And so what was this hospital?
That was at St Leonard's in Ringwood. It was the American hospital, but it was only for white Americans. The others were stationed out in the woods outside St Leonard's.
So these were casualties who were brought back to recuperate?
No. They were there to train to go out to fight.
Right. So no patients?
Not that I know of, no.
It was a training.
It was a training place, and if people were injured, then they went there. But there were no injuries as far as I was concerned. And they did all the food, and I could have a meal there if I wanted to. And I also had a jeep to pick me up, and I would work nights as well, so I would have a jeep to bring me home the following morning.
And what was that like?
Lovely.
And did you talk to the driver of the jeep?
Oh, yes.
What were they like?
They were so friendly and very nice.
And over here, of course.
Yeah. And I think they must have been stationed for about 2.5 years, I think I worked there. I was on the telephone board, what's it called? Switchboard. And I seemed to be the only one that was working there. I don't remember. Oh yes, I had a chap who was above me, but who actually got the job for me. Because when I had to do the cleaning, I had to cycle there and back. And that was an effort, especially if it was raining. So
that's a fair ride, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I had a bicycle then, but then I had a jeep came every morning, brought me back, and the same at night.
People must have thought you were rather important, being driven around in a Jeep.
Yeah, I did. I suppose I did.
What did your friends make of that?
I had friends at school, but I never had many friends who knew about that. I don't remember. I had my sister who I was very fond of, and we worked together at eventually at the cafe in Ringwood. It was called Bickham's, and Mr. Bickham's kept it.
And this was before you went to work for the Americans?
No, afterwards, right. When the Americans had left.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
the Americans all left suddenly, didn't they?
Yes, I had no idea they were going. But while they were there, it was a lovely life as far as I was concerned. I worked on the switchboard. I had to do nights, which didn't worry me at all, because the transport was there to bring me back and forth. So eventually, I knew they were going, and I've just finished reading this book which says about how many died going over in the sea. Yeah, for D-Day.
Did they give you presents? Did you get, nylons and chewing gum and whatever people talk about?
No. I mean to say, at Christmas, the nurses always gave me a Christmas cake, and which their family had sent over. They also gave me all the things that they left behind I could take home with me. And I had 3 lovely evening dresses. Yes.
And these are American ones?
Oh, yes. And they were the nurses were very, very kind. I can't speak highly of them.
So the nurses were going over with the troops?
Yes, yeah. Everybody went from the camp this particular day. Well, early morning or night it must have been. And then I was reading it in this book I've got.
Yes,
there.
Yes,
This one that talks about how many people died, soldiers died that particular day. I didn't realise it. So as I say, I was married. I think it was 4 or 5 years afterwards. I had my first child. That was the girl.
But at the time you were working, and the camp was at St Leonard's, was it?
Yes, yeah.
Right. And so you were married when you were working there?
Yes.
So I suppose they wouldn't have chatted you up because you were a married woman.
Well, no.
Whereas if you'd not been married, you might have...
Yes, I might have met somebody and perhaps, married in well, I don't know, because they were there for 2 years, but I went to a few, I always went to the Crown Hotel on a Wednesday because I loved dancing, and they had a dance.
Where's that?
The Crown Hotel's in Ringwood, in the High Street.
Right.
And my sister and my sister had a dreadful accident. She was coming home with her boyfriend who lived at Burley, and it was a little something 7, the Austin 7 car. He had a car, and he got to this telegraph pole and he hit it. And the car turned over, and she became eventually blind. She made the mirror, the paper, made the back page on the mirror, rolled over, and she lost the sight of her eye, one eye. but she was able to drive the car eventually, and she's only died about 5 years ago now. So she, it didn't seem to affect her a lot, but she did get a big payout. And her husband took one of the cars they bought, went to the cinema in Bournemouth, didn't insure it. First car got stolen.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So anyway.
But so you used to go together to these dances
at
the Crown Hotel.
And I must say, we were not being big-headed, but we used to practice at home to get the dances. Victor Sylvester used to do a set-out plan where you put your feet and that. And so we used to practice at home. And we were both good dancers, so we were always perhaps first or second up on the floor. It was a very popular place, the Crown. And
so you were dancing to live bands all the time.
It wasn't like
what bands were you dancing to?
Charlie Richards was the band leader, and he used to live in Bournemouth. They used to come from Bournemouth.
So he would play regularly, would he?
Yeah, once a week, once a week. Yeah. And the very night he was holding an audition for a singer, he didn't come because it snowed. And he couldn't get there. So I never, well...
You would have had a go at that?
Yeah. I wanted to be a singer. Would have liked to have been. Yeah. I mean, say my son plays in the what's it called?
Big orchestra, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. In Birmingham.
Birmingham Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
Yes. And what does he play?
He plays clarinet. Saxophone, and he also buys hopefully instruments. He's been to China to buy unusual ones, and then he's able to play them. Yeah.
So, what sort of dances did you do, Gina?
A quick step, the waltz, Velita. That was an old-fashioned one.
Did you do the Lindy Hop?
No.
Didn't do the Lindy Hop?
No.
But you did the jive?
Yes. Oh, yeah, with the Americans. I didn't like going over their backs.
So the jive is really, the Lindy Hop is like the jive,
it is, yeah. And of course, as soon as the Americans got on the floor, they were away kind of thing. I don't think they were very popular with the English. Not that we saw many Englishmen in uniform, a few RAF, and I did have a boyfriend before I met this my husband, and he used to fly the what were they called? What were the first planes?
Spitfires, Hurricanes?
He used Spitfires. I only went out, I think I went to the cinema with him once. And but he always dipped his wings as he used to come into Ibsley, because they were stationed there, to say he was safe, he was home. And then one night or one day, he never came back. I never saw him again. So...
Did you know what happened to him?
When the plane crashed, they never came back from France.
He'd been shot down?
Yeah. You knew that, he did say, I'll always do the wings over your mum's house. He said, tell you I'm back safely, but this particular night he didn't come back. Of course, we lost and what were they? I suppose I was, about 15, 16 then. And no, it's before I got married, so I was about 15. and he never came back. So I knew that his plane must have crashed. And then I had one night over the Bickerley where we lived, this was the Second World War. Must have been a Spitfire. No, it wasn't a Spitfire, it was a bomber. Came over our house. We had 10 houses there, and we didn't own, we rented the first one. And the following, I saw it coming over this particular night, and it was a bomber, and it was on fire, and it flew just by our window, like here, and it was on fire. It was a terrible sight to see. And then the following morning, we went over the meadows, so we used to call it, because there was a railway line along there, and then that had crashed, and you saw bodies and things like that. It's dreadful.
Was it a British plane?
No, American.
It was an American plane?
Yeah.
It had been on a bombing raid?
Yeah.
And it had been hit or something?
It had been hit. You could see as it flew by our bedroom window, you could see all the flames just beginning to come up. And the next morning we were very friendly with, there were quite a few boys, we used to call them, in our gang. They went over and you just saw, ankles and pieces of limbs over there.
Well, that must have been horrible.
Oh, it was. And the smell as well of burnt flesh.
None of them got out? None of them?
No, none at all. That plane. I did go into Ringwood and find out who was the captain of that plane. And he was apparently a well-known ace in Germany. And they were all killed, all of them.
And what well-known ace had shot them down, did you mean?
No. They had flew over Southampton, and somebody. What do they have? Air raid. What do they call them?
Air raid warnings.
Yeah. Or one particular plane has shot this plane, German plane, had hit it, but it had got as far as Ringwood.
Yes.
And then it came down. But we saw it, and as I say, so we stood in our bedroom, which overlooked.
So you might have known some of those boys in the plane.
Well, I did find out that the captain of that plane was an ace in the air.
He was experienced.
They did give me the name of him from Ringwood. I did find out, but as I say, it was a horrible sight, though. Now, come on, what else can I tell you?
Well,
you asked me the questions.
Yes. All right. Let's just go back. Let's go back to when you were a little bit younger. So I suppose when the war started, you were 14, weren't you? Probably about 14.
No, I must have been 12, I think. 1925, I was
35, you would have been 13, 14.
Yeah. You're ready to leave school. So we had to leave when you were 14, didn't you?
Yeah, not far off school.
Yeah, cool.
School.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, how were you, did you realise that what was coming? Did you have any idea as a young girl, that there was a war coming? Do you remember when war broke out?
Yes.
What do you remember about it?
Well, I've always hated wars, and I think, and when you're very young, I don't know, you're always thinking of the good times you're having. You know, going to the dance once a week, that was something to look forward to. I loved school. We had a teacher called Mr. Larkham, and he made everything so interesting. I loved school. I would like to have... We had one boy from the whole of the schools around us, which was Ringwood Council, and the other one was, I can't think what that was called, but out of all those children, one boy got into Brockenhurst, which was secondary modern. That was one child out of all those schools, and only one got in.
And all the rest left school at age 14?
Yeah. So you realise, well, he was my boyfriend for a little time, Ken Frampton, and don't put any names on, will you, because he's got a wife now, I think.
And he's probably not around. Is he still around, do you think?
I don't think he is, no. But he was the only one. So I used to meet, and our school was just above the near the station. So I used to meet him off the train every week, once every day that he came. He came on the train. I used to meet him
on the train
yeah. So he was really my very first boyfriend, because I used to meet him, and he used to walk me down the Bickerley to home. So that was my very first one.
And you always remember your first boyfriend or girlfriend, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
and I remember the second one because I married him, and then he went off to fight in Burma. Eventually, he was a sergeant in the Middlesex Regiment, who I married. How I married him, and he had 3 stripes, and so I suppose and.
So you were on your own for a bit then, weren't you, after you married, when he went off to fight?
Oh yeah, I was in the with the American forces then. Yeah.
But you were living. Your husband was away at that point.
Oh yes, yeah. He went. We got married in the Ringwood Church, and 2 days afterwards, and we stayed up. What's above Ringwood? We went there one night and tried to stay in a hotel, but which we couldn't. And they were all taken. And then we got married a couple of days. No, we got married before we went to this hotel, and then he went off for he was a sergeant, so he went off to officer training school, which was way above. It wasn't all that. It was halfway to London. The officer training, Winchester. No, it was
Aldershot.
No.
Sandhurst or
Sandhurst. He went off to officer training school, and then I didn't see him. And then he went. Then I have to think now. And then he was I didn't see him for 2 years, and then he went off to what was that horrible country?
Burma?
Yeah,
Burma.
he went off to Burma, and then when he came back, he had his pips. Then he had two pips.
So what's 2 pips?
Lieutenant, first is second lieutenant. No, first lieutenant. He got £1,000 gratuity because he'd done that. But
and he managed to avoid becoming a prisoner.
Yeah, he never spoke a word about it, Burma, what it was like or anything. I think they had a dreadful time, but he never. And if I was to say, "Oh, what happened to you in Burma, Bob?" I don't talk about that. And then so many of the men didn't talk about those years.
Yeah. And
So
he got through it.
Yeah.
So when he came back, what was that like?
Well, I didn't feel as though I knew him. I didn't feel all right. I went to dances and things like that, and perhaps a chap would give you a good night kiss, but most of them didn't. But I just felt as though I never really knew him.
So
Even though we had 1, 2, 3, 4 children, I never felt as though I ever knew him.
But not even later on?
No. He never said to me what had happened, because I thought I would say, well, why on earth didn't you, when you came back to England on the boat, that you got, what do you call it? Where you can send a message.
Postcards or whatever, telegrams?
Yeah.
Radio?
Yeah, you can send a message home.
Send a telegram.
Why couldn't you have sent one to say you were coming home and, and you hadn't been injured or anything? But he did have a couple of nasty, what do you call it, where you go a bit funny in your head. What's it called?
Post-traumatic stress?
Yeah, they call it, yes.
That's what it is. So he'd seen some pretty horrible things.
He must have done, because he had to go into Forstern Clinic. And he used to be a boxer for the Middlesex. He was champion for the Middlesex regiment, you see. So he must have had some dreadful times.
So that was a really difficult start.
It was.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was very hard.
Did you ever have any air raids? You remember this bomber coming down?
On fire, yeah.
But did you ever have any? Did the air raid sirens
Southampton had more than us, because Ringwood was that little bit further out, but Southampton had some dreadful ones. I think we had one in Bournemouth High Street. I think a bomb went down, or a plane went down there. But I didn't, and I don't remember seeing the Echo in those days.
Because the Echo was bombed, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah. So there were several in Bournemouth. But we weren't near enough to, and we never used to bother with an Echo in those days.
And did you see a lot of planes about then?
Ipsley, I did a paper round. My mother got me a job on the paper round, and that worked. I round Ipsley, Fordingbridge. This is where I used to cycle with papers.
Sounds like quite a long way.
Yeah, it is a big Ipsley, Fordingbridge. I did. And those are some of the places. But I don't remember seeing... I saw loads of planes going over, of course. And as I say, it was very interesting working with the Americans, because, they had a huge, great tent. And that was the food hall. And I remember going in there one day and looking around and seeing all this food. There was so much, there were steaks and God knows what, and thinking, why do the Americans get this? And, the poor English don't get anything at all. 2 pennies worth of meat, wasn't it? So I was very lucky there, really.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember how they spoke? Was that
different
was that a surprise,
accents.
the way they spoke?
Different accents, which of course we used to copy, didn't we?
Had you heard that? Had you heard people speaking with an American accent before?
No, never. No, never.
Because you might have seen it at the pictures, maybe.
Yeah, yes. I think I don't think we ever went to the pictures during the war years. I don't know what the cinema. We had one cinema in Ringwood, but I don't remember ever going to.
So you wouldn't have heard Americans speaking?
No.
Did you listen to the radio at all as a youngster?
Yes, oh yeah, always, because we had to get the tunes to be able to dance to. So, and Victor Sylvester used to draw things on the floor, how the steps would go. So you'd put the television on to see where the steps were. Radio on. Yeah, did we have a telly?
No, telly wouldn't have been around before the war, would it, much? I wouldn't have thought so. It came in just before the war, didn't it? But very, very little.
Must have been just before the war.
Would have been radio.
Yeah, it must have been.
So did you listen to other things on the radio? Did you listen
not that I can remember.
Probably weren't so interested in listening to the news as a teenage girl, or were you?
Oh, yeah.
You were?
Oh, yeah, always listen to the news. But I can't remember. What was it called? That Whistle While You Work. I remember the tunes.
Workers' Playtime?
Yeah, I remember most of the songs. It's a long way to Tipperary.
Well, that's an old one.
Yeah. Well, my mother always used to sing those.
The World War I songs.
Yeah.
I've got a few songs with me, so I'll just pause this for a minute and you can have a little listen. See if you recognise it. Can we start again?
Yeah. To do war work, we had to choose to work at an egg grading station in Ringwood, and the man who owned it was a Russian, Basildon, I think their name was. And all the eggs used to come into them from the local farm, and we had to grade them to the different sizes. And it was very easy work, and we enjoyed doing it, and it was war work. So we enjoyed it. But we didn't really enjoy Mrs. Basildon coming out with this great huge sponge that she had made. She never gave us a single slice of it. Oh dear. And cake was so important. Yeah.
So you remembered not getting the cake?
Yeah, no, she'd bring it out and show us, but she'd take it back again. Yeah.
And so, tell me about gas masks. Did you have a gas mask?
Oh yes. Always carried it with us. Yeah.
And you had to try it on sometimes?
Oh, it was horrible. Oh, I wouldn't try it on. The smell of it was horrible up your nose. No, you'd get it off you as quick as you possibly can.
Was it a bit claustrophobic?
It had a smell to it that made you feel sick. We always found. I don't think I ever put it on. We used to hide in, we had a little cupboard under the stairs, and we used to hide in there when the alarm sounded, and just sitting there and wait until the all clear went.
And did that happen very often?
Oh yes, often, especially at night. Soon as you, and my dad worked as an ARP, air raid warden, and so he used to go out at night because he could drive a car. He learnt to drive in the First World War, so he had to go out, and he worked for a doctor, a Mr. No, I think he was a councillor, Mills, who lived at Blashford, somewhere around over there. And he used to drive his car for him. And so as soon as he heard the alarm went off, he used to drive over, pick this man up, and then they worked as air raid wardens in case of fires. Any a place caught on fire.
So the alarms went off quite a lot, the sirens went off quite a lot, but you didn't actually have many raids where you were?
Not in Ringwood, because they had one big one in Bournemouth, I remember. But no, but of course you didn't know where the bombs were going to drop, did you?
No. And I suppose if there were planes flying over, they had to warn people.
Yeah.
So was that, when you got that sound, what did you do when the siren went off?
Oh, get in the cupboard.
So you didn't have a shelter in the garden?
Yeah, I did. I bought the boys. We had a gang, which we called a gang, and there were about 6 or 7 boys that we used to invite into our shed. My mother had bought this shed, and we fitted it out with curtains. We had a telephone system.
So this was your shelter, was it?
Yeah, in the garden, in our garden, near the river.
It was sunken in the ground, was it?
No, this was up to start with. We had it up to start. We used to play cards in there at night, and till the all clear went. And my mum was lovely, and one of the boys had fitted up a telephone system. So they would ring up my mother and say, "We'll have 5 cups of cocoa, Mum." And she used to bring them out to us when I think of it.
So it wouldn't have given you any protection if there had been a bombing raid?
No. We had no
so
bombing.
So you didn't need to bother with having a proper shelter where you were?
Well, no, we had this shed to start it with the start of the war, but as it got quite bad towards the end of it, then a plane had crashed over the meadows, which was over the railway line, and into this field. And the boys were very good. They went and brought me the tail end of this bomber. And so they brought it back, put it in our garden on a mound. They put some earth, and they had the tail of the plane. Must have been it wasn't a Spitfire. It was definitely a Foreigner.
This was the American plane probably that came down.
No, that one crashed, and you saw the bodies.
This was a German plane then, was it, do you think?
No, I think it was a Spitfire, which had crashed somewhere over there, and they brought this tail end, and then they put it on top of this air raid shelter, which we had made by putting the shed into the ground and then putting earth and all on top, and then we put the tail of this Spitfire, or a German fighter it could have been, on the top of it, to make sure it if it hit that, it would miss our thing, I suppose. I don't know why.
Did it look good?
Yeah, very good, very good.
What did you all think of it? You're all quite pleased with it?
Oh yes, yeah. I'm sure it was a German plane, that one. Like the other one.
That was a bit of a trophy then for your
It
gang.
was. And it's funny, all the things that you had, you never thought of keeping them. Oh, the first thing you did after the war is get rid of those gas masks for the smell. Yeah.
I think there's probably still a few of them around.
Must be.
I think they pop up in, art military sales and things like that.
Yeah. But I think if you were to put your nose, even in these days, inside one, oh golly, you imagine how.
Well, I've seen them, and they always say don't do it because it's old and it's dusty and all that, you know.
Yeah, but it's just that smell that was there.
So if you were to smell that smell now, you'd recognise it.
Oh yeah, it was. Well, it was worse than a bad egg grading station.
Right, let's pause it a minute and have another tune and see if you recognise another tune. So, listening to all these tunes, what was it like walking into that dance hall on a Wednesday night? How did you feel?
Oh, excited, going to dance. Oh, that was lovely.
This is you and your sister.
Yes, yeah.
And it was very familiar because you went there every week.
It was what?
Familiar because you went
there
most
yes,
weeks.
yeah.
So you'd get all
We knew, yeah.
You'd have your nice dress on.
Yeah.
Made up, hair.
Yeah, oh yeah. Always makeup. And my sister used to have a relative of hers who worked in a big shop up in London, and my sister had the money from her bad accident, so she always had cash. So and she would send down dresses, and then my sister would send the money back up to her. So we always had nice outfits to wear. You'd always have your hair rolled, didn't you? Up in there.
I don't know.
Oh yes.
How did you do your hair?
There's quite a few photographs on the wall.
Yeah.
Of,
I wanted to describe it.
Yeah.
I think they called it a chignon.
Yeah.
How long did it take you a long time to?
No, not really. My sister used to do her hair. My mother used to do her hair with a curl all over her hair. Joni and put a hat pin in it. So as she jogged around, half of them would fall out. Oh.
We've been trying to just get back to imagining what it was like going into that dance hall and.
It was
lovely.
lovely.
You better come every week.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
It just can be a bit monotonous with me. You know, I'm in and out and dashing around and what have you. There's just never much time to sit and talk.
Oh,
really.
it's taken me right back.
That's lovely. Now, shall I make you a coffee now?
No thanks,
bring it
dear.
in. Shall I bring you a drink then?
No.
All right. Okay.
I don't
all right.
know.
Okay, because if I don't go early, I can't park to pick up one of the grandchildren.
Yeah.
All right.
I might see you later. I might be gone. I'll probably be gone by the time you get back.
Yeah. I'll get back to
I can find my way out, can't I?
Yeah. Just downstairs.
Yeah, just close the door. We won't put an alarm on. No.
I'll just say. And Elaine, if I don't see you, thank you so much.
Oh,
That's all right.
That's fine. Anytime.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
So where do you live then?
I'm in Dorchester.
Oh, Dorchester, yeah. Do you know my cousin's business there?
What's that?
She bought the, not the town hall, she bought, I don't know what her name is now, but she's been there quite a few years.
Mm.
I used to help out in one of her offices.
What sort of business?
I think she had about 6 offices over there.
Don't worry, it'll come to you.
I'm trying to think.
It'll come to you, Gina. It'll come to you. Yes.
I don't even know her married name now, but she's been there a lot of years.
Let's get back to the dance hall in.
Okay then.
In 1940, dance
Yeah.
hall.
Yeah.
No, well, Americans wouldn't have been there then, would they? So who would have? Where were all the boys at the dance? They were all sort of local teenagers, I suppose, were they?
No, they were Americans then.
So
The Americans had come over, and that's how I was able to work for them.
So, and at the dances in Ringwood, it was still full of Americans then?
Oh, yes.
So
Only Americans. There might be a couple of RAF officers, but apart from that, you didn't see any what were they called? Tommies.
The Americans didn't come till 1941, did
Yes.
they? So before then, you didn't go to dances?
No. So how old would I be in 1941?
You'd have been 16?
Yeah.
I suppose it's the sort of age when you would have started going to dances.
Yes, dances.
And your mum and dad were okay with you going off to dances and then with all these American...
Oh, yeah. Well, and it was only
soldiers?
Up the road.
They weren't worried about your safety?
No, never. I don't think any of us were ever worried about anything, even the war. All right, yeah, you might think, oh, golly, that's a Spitfire that's gone over and what you call it. But you didn't see a lot of bombers because they only came at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Usually,
And
you might...
You were in the country, really, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, yes, right in the country we were.
So later on in the war, did you get to see, were there a lot of evacuees come around you? Did you have evacuees?
No.
No. Well, lots came to Dorset, but probably rural.
Yeah. But they probably went. I mean to say, we had my mother's mother came down. I think she was 60 then, and she brought her 3 granddaughters down with her because they had been all born. My grandmother had a lovely house in London. Motspur Park was one place where my uncle lived. That was a very nice house, but I went and stayed up there for a time and worked in the War Office. I wasn't particularly good, but nevertheless, my cousin who worked in the War Office, she got me a job up there, and just filing forms and things like that. But the bombing got so bad. When they used to live at Elsford. No, not Elsford. Right at Motspur Park, she used to live. And that got bombed dreadfully.
That's fairly central then.
Yeah. So I stayed up there for about 6 to 8 weeks, but the bombing... Bye, dear. The bombing got so bad that we came on back down home back to Ringwood. And then my grandmother, who got left, her daughter died of TB in those days, and she brought she brought the 3 grandchildren that got left behind. I think they were 2, 4 and 6, My grandmother, a 60-year-old woman, she got left to look after them.
3
And
children.
yeah, and the bombing. And as I say, my grandmother lived in a lovely house. She always had, my uncle said, he worked on the papers. Don't know, daily papers, I think he worked on. He had a very good job. And I think he had a car in those days because he used to come down and take us out. We used to sit in a little dicky seat at the back. I remember that so well. And we lived
It
at
was fine if it wasn't raining.
yeah, one new street we lived then. And as I say, my grandmother bought these 3 grandchildren, 2, 4 and 6 they were. And she stayed with us for a couple of, must have been about 3 or 4 weeks. God knows where we all slept.
So these were cousins, I suppose, young
Yeah,
cousins.
yeah, 2, 4 and 6.
So quite little, weren't they?
Yeah, and my grandmother, 60 years old, brought them up.
So how did they cope with all that?
Well, and then I think within a short while, if I was to say within, I think they only lived with us for about 3. No, they must have lived a couple of weeks, maybe longer, with us. I don't know where we all slept. I know we slept 3 up at the top of our bed. We had a great big bed in that room and 3 at the bottom. With
Well, 6
some,
in a bed.
Yeah.
So perhaps the children were at the end of the bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we used to sleep 3 that way and 3 this way.
That's a lot of people in one bed.
Yeah, it was, but because we only had a 1, 2, 3 bedroom house. I had my father's brother who worked on the road. He was a foreman on the, laying roads. And he had a very good job. His wife had walked out and left him with a young girl of about, what age was she? She was about 7. She could have been, I suppose, Phil, when she came. So she came to live with us, with her father. He had a room on his own, the 3rd bedroom he had. We never had a bathroom in that house.
So where did you wash?
At a sink in the kitchen. And we had an outside toilet where we had to cut the newspaper off in squares to wash the bottom. Never had a toilet roll in those days.
What was that like?
Dreadful. And so often the toilet would get blocked because only so much paper could go down it. My father always, as I say, he worked as an ARP warden during the night, and then he would get on his bicycle and he'd cycle all the way to Verwood to join his brother-in-law's house, and then get in the van and then go out and sell the meat. So really, but he had rain or shine or snow, he used to cycle at 4.5 miles every single day. And the first one, it's not there now, but there used to be the almshouses in Ringwood, and you would go up he would have to go up a hill like that. I think it's been altered now. It's a different way, but he had to cycle all that way.
And then he was delivering with his van. He was delivering to shops, was he? To butchers' shops, or?
Yeah, yes, but no, people who lived in houses as well.
Oh, right.
Shops, shops. I don't think there was. Don't think there was a shop at Verwood in those days. I can't remember any.
All sorts of customers then.
Well, no, expensive people he used to deal with, only expensive, because poor people couldn't buy
Afford
meat.
it. No.
No.
Mm.
So, as I say, but every day come rain or shine. But as I say, my uncle Charlie Biggins, he lived in a super house over there. I remember they had beautiful rugs on the floor. Come on, I don't know what I think you've got enough about me, have you?
I think I probably have, Gina.
Eh?
I think we've got enough for now.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Let's stop now.
Yeah,
At this
okay.
point.